Today's date, October 4th, 2025. The past few weeks were very insane. Last month, there were a series of mass shootings, which is a constant occurrence in the United States, unfortunately. This one particular shooting happened in New Hampshire. A gunman shot people at a country club in New Hampshire. Heard the news reports there was a wedding taking place when that shooting occurred. Because gunmen opened fire in a New Hampshire country club on Saturday as a wedding was taking place, killing one person and wounding two others. So we got this man here who died, Robert Stephen DeSacer. Not sure how to pronounce that. 59 years old. Then the suspect, Hunter Nadeau, he was arrested. It was mentioned that there were two shooters, but it was really one, just this guy, Hunter. There's no motive for what happened. They don't have a motive. The investigators don't have a motive yet, but someone heard the shooter say, "The children are safe and free Palestine." And he appears to be targeting someone. This is messed up. A wedding taking place, people gathering for a happy event, and this happens, and someone gets killed. The country club, of all places. When I heard about this shooting in New Hampshire, this mass shooting in New Hampshire reminded me of a mass shooting that took place in Maine back in 2023. There was a Maine mass shooting, same area, New England. And this guy, Robert Card, 40 years old, and he was the one who committed that mass shooting, and he was in the army, and there was a manhunt for him, a manhunt. Yeah, so that shooting in New Hampshire reminded me of this mass shooting. This one, see, yeah, this guy, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. So this guy was in the army and he started shooting people and he killed. Yeah, this was horrendous. He killed 18 people and wounded 13. So the New Hampshire mass shooting was not as bad as this one that took place in Maine. And then, let's see, so going back to the New Hampshire shooting, that was reported on the 21st of September. It happened on a Saturday. I do remember that. at a country club. And then there was this shooting around the same weekend in Indianapolis, Indiana. 2 people killed, 5 hurt. And this mass shooting took place in the parking lot of a shopping center in Indianapolis. Let's see. So it happened at after 2 a.m. So let me see. Go back. 2 people killed, 5 injured. So 2 of the victims were pronounced dead. There was a further investigation. And there was another shooting that happened, let's see, earlier before this one in Indianapolis. Okay, so here, the shooting occurred just hours after 2 police officers came under fire in a separate incident in northwest Indiana involving an armed man allegedly threatening employees at a McDonald's restaurant. Damn, McDonald's. Officers were called about disturbance and a person with a weapon. So a 34-year-old man and it was told that he threatened to kill somebody. That was before this mass shooting. There's a radio show I listen to sometimes, and someone mentioned on that show that this shooting in Indianapolis involved juveniles. So if that's true, got another case of parents not being aware of where their children are, because this happened after 2 a.m. And this was in last month, September. Now, there was another mass shooting in Indianapolis not that long ago, in July. 2 killed, 5 injured in downtown Indianapolis. Yeah, so 2 killed, 5 injured. Let's see.
The Indianapolis police chief is expressing frustration with parents after a deadly shooting that killed 2 teenagers and injured 5 others. It happened downtown early this morning. Police have not discussed a possible motive, but the chief had this message for parents.
I don't know how many times I have to say it. We are not your children's keepers. You are. And parents and guardians have got to step up.
The police chief said changes will be made going forward. They include additional police resources placed downtown for the foreseeable future. That includes Indiana State Troopers being there through the summer.
So I guess, yeah, here it is. The victims were a mix of juveniles and adults. This happened early Saturday morning, that night. So it was at night. And that cop is extremely right. Where the hell are the parents of these children, the juveniles, and why aren't the parents taking control of their own children? It's ridiculous. And that was in July, and then you had this one last month, September. This was a crazy mass shooting. What made this one stood out was the suspect committed a mass shooting in North Carolina. He fired shots from a boat, killing 3, injuring at least 8. See, it is Southport, North Carolina. It says here, suspect has been charged with connection to a mass shooting, killed 3, at least 8 injured. It said this restaurant, I guess, yeah, American Fish Company. The gunman was traveling in a boat along the Cape Fear River, pulled up to a restaurant dock, and fired into the crowd. I was stunned when I heard that. Firing shots from a boat. It sounded like something out of an action movie. However, this was a real-life horrible mass shooting. The U.S. Coast Guard detained the person who matched the description. It was 40-year-old, another 40-year-old. So this guy, Nigel Max Edge, another 40-year-old mass shooter, and police believe it was highly premeditated. And this Nigel Max Edge, he is a Marine veteran who was wounded in 2006. And then, hold on. Then you got this church shooting in Michigan at a church. 5 dead, 8 injured. Now, I did hear that this gunman shot people and set the church on fire. This is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So he rammed his pickup truck. He's also 40 years old. Damn, all these 40-year-old people. 40-year-old gunmen. It's crazy. What's up with that? He rammed his pickup truck into the chapel while they were having service, and he opened fire on the people inside. Then he set the chapel on fire, and he is an ex-Marine. At least 4 people had died. So, a church shooting, it's seems like nowhere is safe. And here it says the church shooters had a hateful tirade. It says here he hated the Mormons. Back in 2018, there was a mass shooting at a synagogue near Pittsburgh. Of course, in 2015, there was that church shooting in Charleston, South Carolina. So churches are targeted, been targeted. And so the Michigan mass shooting and North Carolina mass shooting both involve Marine veterans. They were both 40 years old. Hmm. I don't know if it's mental illness or something else. I don't know. And then you got this mass shooting in Texas. I think it's Eagle Pass, Texas. This happened at a casino. A guy named Kirian Rashad Jones. Now, let's see. What's going on with this?
Several others injured. The deadly shooting outside the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino in Eagle Pass. That shooting happened late Saturday night and it left 2 people dead and several others injured. Tonight, officials say the suspect, 34-year-old Kirian Rashad Jones, is from San Antonio. He was arrested in Wilson County after a pursuit with deputies. A motive in the shooting still has not been uncovered. And as investigators continue to search for answers, Jones remains in custody tonight in Eagle Pass. Sue Kalberg looked into his background and tells us what she found out.
The accused casino gunman doesn't have a criminal history here in Bexar County. So to learn more, we turned to a national database. Local and federal officers swarmed the Tuscany Park apartments on Patricia Sunday, looking for evidence involving 34-year-old Kirian Jones. They haven't said what they found, and the suspect doesn't have much of a profile on national databases either. We found one 2018 speeding ticket in Texas and a 4-year-old small claims case when he was accused of not paying $1,300 in rent in Oklahoma. Here in San Antonio, his neighbors called him chill and said he and his dogs were friendly.
We would let our dogs play and we would just say, hey, what's up to him, my boyfriend and I. And he was like a really chill guy. I mean, he seemed really nice and he had these really well-behaved dogs. And so we thought he was a cool guy. So it's pretty crazy.
Neighbors in Wilson County say that's a stark contrast to the way the arrest went down on an isolated farm-to-market road. At the intersection of 87 and 123 in Stockdale, officers confronted the suspect at a Circle K parking lot and fired a few shots. But they say the man kept driving his disabled vehicle until they were able to force him off the road and bring the incident to a stop almost 200 miles from the parking lot of the casino.
Yeah, so this guy, he killed 2 people and injured 5 at a casino, Eagle Pass, Texas. And this one was a real shocker. Police killed gunmen who shot at a carpool line outside Georgia school. So this sick person was shooting at children. This guy shot up a carpool line at a school. So let's see, this is Valdosta, Georgia. And police in a South Georgia city shot and killed a man Thursday after they said he opened fire on cars waiting outside a school to pick up students. A Valdosta police officer heard shots and saw a man entering the campus of SL Mason Elementary School. And the guy, the gunman, he's 25-year-old Tashikus Armando DeShazer. So, no injuries were reported, which is great. They don't know why he opened fire at a school. And let's see. The school officials dispatched the buses quickly to get the students to safety. What the hell is went through that guy's head? he is dead, so he won't be harming children or anybody anymore. This can end it very bad, worse, but it didn't. Fortunately, the cops shot that guy, and the children were safe. People aren't safe at church, school, restaurants. Ridiculous. And like I said, this is a common occurrence. So be very careful out there, wherever you go. Stay safe. Take care.